Well, finally, after 4 weeks of waiting, I have finally got the power distribution center box here to finish installing the auxiliary switches on the truck here. Every place I looked on the internet, everyone was referencing 4th gen RAM electronics in order to get this power distribution box. When I looked, the website was no website for that. Everybody had a link to the website, 4th gen RAM electronics. Nothing. Numerous searches turned up nothing for this. So I'm not sure if that company went out of business or that company switched names. I finally found this box under 4-Wheel Electronics. So I submitted the order March 12th. I submitted the order to them. They replied via email saying, yes, we've received your order. We will let you know when it's shipping. After 3 weeks go by and I haven't heard anything from them, and my credit card was billed for the box and I still don't have anything, I sent an email to their sales email address. I got no response. I called the number that was in the email from the confirmation that they received the order. When I called that number, it said, we are currently unavailable, but you can send a message to this email address. So that was a different email address. Sent a message to that email address. 2 or 3 days go by. I hear no response. Finally, I get an email saying, hey, your product has shipped. So from March 12th to April 8th, so almost 4 weeks, 1 day shy of 4 weeks from the time I placed the order. So I'm not sure if they build these upon request. It was shipped out of Georgia. I don't think it's made overseas. I believe they are built here in the USA. But anyway, so now I've got to pull the dash apart, install the switch pack here, and then under the hood find a place for the installation of this. And then it's supposed to be just plug and play. We'll see how that goes. So I will unplug out of the module that is in there now. I'll pull those wires out and plug it into here, and then plug this one into my new module. So it's supposed to be that easy. Now, there are only 3 wires coming out of here. That doesn't seem to be enough wires coming out of there to run everything, but I don't know. Okay, well, let's see if I can pull this dash off of here without breaking anything up. I've seen 1 or 2 videos on how it's done. It's supposed to be easy, but I don't know. I may not bore you with all the details here. So let's try to get this done. I have got the power distribution box mounted inside of the engine bay. I just took a piece of 90 metal and put some self-tapping screws into the side of the engine bay here, and then another piece of metal attached to that going across to hold the box on there. I've got the wire run through this boot here. This is where the main wiring harness goes into the cab. So down on the bottom side, right down there, I cut a slit in the boot. This boot is a, I guess you could call it a double wall boot. There's a boot on this side, and then inside the cab is another boot. So I had to cut through twice, put a wire through here, and put a, not electrical wire, a piece of steel wire through here, tape my electrical connection to that, and then pull it through both of these boots. So I've got that pulled through. Then I've just got to connect, it looks like it's 2 positive wires, I guess, to provide enough juice in that box. 2 positive wires that I'll have to connect. And since it's just switched, I don't need a negative wire to connect to this. So I was able to pull the wire apart. Let's get in here out of the light. This part was the smaller end to pull through, so I did not have to cut as large a hole in that boot since this wire disconnects. So I can connect that back up. And now the hard part, I think, is pulling the dash off of there to get the new switch panel put in and the wires connected. All right, this is where the wire came through on the other side of the boot there. Okay, I'll run this wire up above the steering column here and across to get over there. Okay, the more I am thinking about this, the more I'm guessing it may be the wrong wire. When I ordered this, I don't know if I told them that I already had the traction control, the tow haul mode, and the parking sense. So maybe this is okay, the 3 wires here, because this is what is going into the original plug here. But this could be why it disconnects at this point, that if you have other options, you would just change this one wire out to get more plugs here. Well, I'll know when I pull this apart on how many wires I've got coming out of here. And this may be easy enough. My wife does this kind of stuff at her job, and she may be able to wire the plugs in here properly for me. Okay, well, we'll see once we pull this off. But the brake control is a separate wire from what I understand. I will take this off once I pull that assembly out and just mount it back into this assembly here. All right, let's stand by here. Okay, if I understand it properly, there are 2 screws up here. You pull this little mat out of here, and there are 2 screws in here, and then there could be a screw you pull in this little, this is my Tic Tac holder here. They fit in there real nicely. So you pull, where did I put that? Pull that little rubber mat out there, and there may be a screw in there. Well, there's a place for a screw in there, but there is no screw there. It's a T20. That didn't sound good. Okay, so one video I watched, they were able to get this dash off without removing this, but in order to put it all back, they had to remove this, but they did not show me how to remove all of this. Let's see what happens. Okay, don't break that. Okay, you're seeing how I'm doing this. I'm going to have to watch the videotape to figure out how to put it all back together. There are 2 screws right under this thing here, so that looks like a Phillips screwdriver. Ta-da! All right, that is in my way. There we go. Okay, 4 wires. Don't forget where they go. Oh, 5. Okay, no, you can't screw them up because they're only going to go in there a certain way. Okay. And then behind there is a Phillips screwdriver. 4 screws behind here. Don't lose them. All right, oh, here's the wire. Okay, so what I am seeing, all right, I think this wire is correct. So down inside of here, there are only 3 pins coming out, even though in this wire, I have lots of wires. This is the one that connects into this box. There's only 3 pins coming out, which would be in this piece, this wire here. If I turn that around, there's 3 pins in there. Can you see them? So it appears this wire is correct, and as I'm thinking about the ordering process, I had to give the serial number, the VIN number of the vehicle when I ordered this. So they were able, I guess, based on the VIN number, to know which options I had to make this wire up correctly. So it should work. All right, that's good. Voila. And there we go. It's 2 tabs on the top and 2 on the bottom. This should, if I got it the right way, yep, this should pop right back in here. All right, this should pop in here. Have I got it the right way? Yes, I do. All right, 4 screws. Hey, I didn't get it on a video, but Sexy Rooster just bought a new truck. I went with him a couple days ago to test drive a new truck at the same dealership actually I bought this vehicle from. He's been looking for a couple of months now to replace his truck. And I think I've mentioned before, I've gone with him once or twice to test drive a truck with him. Well, He found one, a 2015 Chevrolet 2500 with the diesel in it. Automatic transmission, 4-door, 6.5-foot bed, white. I'm kind of jealous because I like white trucks. Clean truck. It only had 2015. What was the mileage? It was like 50,000 miles. It was less than 60,000 miles. Of course, asking too much money for it, but it's the market it is. But the truck was pretty clean. We were impressed with it. He took it home overnight, test drove it overnight. The dealership allowed him to do that. The next day, he bought the truck. So I think he's happy. He can now get out of his Ford truck. He's been driving a 2-wheel drive Ford. So it is for sale. Okay, that is in, so I can plug everything back up here. What am I missing? This one goes over here. That's the 4-wheel drive. This one goes in here. Okay, so now I take this wire here. All right, so on this wire, all we're doing is plugging the new wire I've got into the switch, into the auxiliary switch. The wire from the truck, can you see that? We're plugging into the pigtail of the new wire. Plug the air conditioner controls back in. What's going on? Oh, I pressed that button. Okay. And then I've just got to figure out how to run this wire. Okay, you saw how easy that is. Let's bring you up here. So this was the wire from the truck that was plugged into the old module here. So we unplugged it. We have stuck the new module in with the auxiliary switches. The wire I got with the power distribution box plugged into the auxiliary switch pack, and then the pigtail coming off of there plugs right into here. So I'm not sure if the auxiliary switch pack that you get, you can order something through RAM. I'm not sure how that wiring goes. It was unclear in the pictures, and of course nobody could answer my questions, so that's why I've gone with the aftermarket distribution pack. All right, so all I've got to do is get this wire run properly and connected to the wire from the distribution box that I ran through the firewall, and then I can put all this back together. So I'm going to turn you off while I figure out how to run this wire. You don't need to see all of that. All right, I think we're ready to put it all back together here. It should just be a reverse. All right, there's just no way around the gear selector. Well, maybe there is, but I'm going to do it this way. Okay, as you can see, so you've got to move this gear selector down to get it past there. Actually, let me leave it there for now. These two screws here. I guess before I put this together, I should have tried everything, but I don't have the battery connections made yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it together and hope for the best. There are two tabs in each of these that kind of hold it in place right there. Okay, that was not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Nothing broke. We got that off of there fairly easily. Hey, I want to show you a modification I made. So before they really figured these consoles out in 2014, they really didn't have a place for your phone. So they had this little ledge here that the phone kind of sat in, but it would not stay. What I did was took a piece of metal, because there was nothing across here. So I took a piece of metal, covered it in this, this is all I had laying around. This is actually the material that goes in the bottom of my tool cabinet to hold the tools in place, just to protect the bottom of it so it's not metal on metal. So I just wrapped it around the piece of metal, drilled 2 holes in it, and then put 2 screws on either side. And now my phone kind of sits in there pretty nicely, and it doesn't fall out. I glued a piece of that stuff back behind here as well, so there was no rattling with it. Now already this stuff here is not going to last long. I may have to find a good piece of leather to wrap this metal in, but that's no problem to take these 2 screws out and do that. And it doesn't look bad. I think what I need to do is get a black paint marker and just paint these 2 screws black. But yeah, I like that. It holds the phone. Now, in my new truck, in the 2018, they've made a few design changes to this console on this part of it. And you can actually put 2 phones in here, and there's a place for your charging cord. Very seldom do I need to charge my phone during the day. If I've got to charge it during the day, then there's something wrong. I've spent too much damn time on it and I haven't done any work. But yeah, in the newer truck, it's a place for your phone charger to come out of there. But I'll be okay. That works nice, so I did not have to mount anything else on the dash for the phone. Okay, now all I've got to do is go up under the hood, make all the connections, and then verify that all of these switches are going to work, and we should be good to go. Now, I think one thing I've learned is that once everything is connected, the truck is going to recognize there's something different, and I think it's going to give me some kind of message. So at that point, I either have to take it to the dealership, have them reprogram the computer to say, yep, the truck now has auxiliary switches, or there's an aftermarket thing that I can purchase to go through and program it myself. I've kind of looked at that only because there was something on my other truck I wanted to reprogram, and I'm not sure if it's possible. I think if I get this aftermarket software kit, what is it, $100? Oh, what was the name of that thing? Hold on here, actually. I have it on my computer at home, but I think I can pull what I have on that computer up on my phone. Auxiliary switch install program with the Alpha OBD program is what I need. Yeah, so this is another video I watched, same thing, talking about the install of this switch distribution box, 4th gen RAM electronics. As I said, that doesn't work. So this person used the Alpha OBD app and then I guess you have to get something to plug into your main port down there, and then use the app on your phone, and I think it links via Bluetooth, and then you can go through and actually make changes yourself to the computer module and do the programming yourself. So I may go that I may go that route. I've got to see what the error message is when I start it. Okay, enough talking. Let me finish hooking everything up inside, then we'll come back and see if it works. I have got everything connected here to the battery, positive, negative. Kind of got all the wires bundled up here and got zip ties on them. The only thing I don't like is this has about 4 inches coming out of here that is solid, that you cannot bend or move around. It's difficult to move it and get it in the position I want, but the wires are not rubbing on anything. I think I've got them secured pretty nicely there. Hopefully that will be okay, but I would like to have had a little bit more flexibility to move that around to get the wires in a little better position. But okay, everything is connected, so you know what that means. Let's get in here and hit the switch for the first time and see if we have sparks that are going to fly. Okay, here we go. So I've got 2 of the auxiliary switches hooked up. I've got the number 4 for the headlights on the snowplow and number 5 for the snowplow joystick. I don't have the snowplow hooked up or the spreader, but when I turn the auxiliary switch on and turn the joystick on, I should get some lighting here. So let's see what happens here. Okay, hold on to your bootstraps. Alright, I don't see any error messages on there. Alright, number 5 is the snowplow joystick. Hey, that lights up. And there we go, we've got a light there. And yes, so this is lighting up. That's good. If I go into the menu, there is a menu item. Nope, it's not there. All right, so that's where the programming comes in to allow me to program these switches as far as whether they stay on when I turn the key off or if they go off. There's a couple of different ways you can program these switches. So that's where I need to either go to the dealer and have them flash the computer so it recognizes these switches, or I get that alpha OBD program. There you go. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be once I got the distribution pack. So it looks like we're ready to go. I've got the 3 more auxiliary switches there. I can add a beacon light to the truck, and I can add maybe some LED lights, salt spreader light, some other things to it. I've got 3 other switches there that I can add something to it. I do have the old man step. Actually, I've got 2 old man steps ordered for this truck. Those Amp Research drop down steps. I've got 1 to go on the back and 1 to go on the side. Hopefully they'll be here next week. And I think that's it for this video. So I'm gonna say, see ya!